Hello folks, this is Taylor Elwin and I'm doing take 3 on this now because initially when I shot it, it didn't have any sound at all, and the second time it did have sound, but I kind of wanted to check it. So, alright, today what I want to talk with you about is how to allow yourself time to reflect and take pause in your business. This is probably one of the hardest skills for business owners to master, and it's one of the most essential. And it's not really talked about. Quite frankly, if you look at the culture for small businesses, what do you see? You see lots of business owners who are constantly in a state of doing. They're either trying to put out fires in their business and solve problems, or their business is running great and they want to continue to grow it and they got these great opportunities, but they're not providing themselves the necessary time they need to be reflective. While this video is part of my video series on, how do you process and handle failure in your business, because I think it's really important for that, it also applies to business owners that are doing okay in their business, kind of marching steadily along and things seem to be working. And it also applies to business owners and entrepreneurs that are wildly successful in their business and aren't necessarily, in a bad place. They're doing great, but it may be time for them to pause and to reflect. Now, I'm going to just say from my own experience that honestly, because I'm in this process of reflecting and taking pause in my business, this is actually one of the hardest steps to take. This week, I started work at my job, the first job I've worked at in 9 years. And of course, it's always an adjustment because when you go to work for someone else, you're on their schedule at that point. And throughout this week, there's been part of myself that at times has basically been like, okay, how are we going to get out of this situation? How are we going to solve this problem? What are we going to do to, get to the next phase of our business? And what I've had to tell myself is, no, we're not going to get out of this problem right away. This isn't a problem to even be solved right now. This is a place to just be. I need to stop, reflect, and just consider, what are my options? Where am I going with business? How do I move forward? And it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you've really got to stop and take pause with your business. But it's hard to do because we're always in that mindset of go, 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 solve this problem, do this, do that, get to where we need to be. And that can actually be a form of toxicity in your business because it stops you from truly being present with yourself and where you need to be in order to allow your business to move forward in whatever direction it's going in. So for myself, I'm in this place where I'm figuring out, like right now, I'm in this place of pausing and reflecting and kind of considering things. And I've figured out some. Part of it in my case, because I'm in a situation where things failed, things didn't work. The business is kind of dead in the water right now. The things that I'm having to reflect and take pause about are, where do I go from here? What am I going to do? Do I even want to do this? And these are good questions to be asking when you're in a situation where things aren't working well in your business. Because it really forces you to stop and take a good hard look at your identity as a business owner, but also as a person. And sometimes when we're caught up in the identity of being a business owner, we get lost in that identity and we forget about the identity of who we are. And we forget about what we need to help ourselves. In my particular case, I have 2 businesses, and in this period of taking pause and reflect is helped. With the one business in particular, I have figured out what I'm doing with it. I figured out that I'm going to occasionally offer classes, but that I'm going to shift my focus to just doing what I really enjoy, instead of focusing on the classes. What the mistake I made is that I focused on the classes to the exclusion of everything else, and that just kind of ate everything else up, and it made it very hard for me to really enjoy that business or want to really even do it. And I didn't realize it until after the fact, but now I have. But like with Eccentric Entrepreneurs, I honestly don't know where I'm going to go with it right now. I figured out one thing so far, and that one thing is that I've decided to write a book about, the process for handling failure. Like it's, I outlined it on Monday. Actually, I outlined it on Tuesday, and I started writing it on Tuesday during my lunch breaks at the new job that I have. And I spent about between 35 and 45 minutes a day working on this book, and got the introduction written and the first chapter written, well, part of it written. So I'm really happy about that, because I feel like, okay, I have a direction to move forward. In this case, I'm writing this book about how do you handle failure? How do you turn failure into success? And what I'm sharing right now is, here's where I'm at. Things haven't worked out the way that I wanted them to. And what I'm going to do is figure out what my process is for moving forward. And here are the steps that I've taken so far. It's going to take a while to complete this book, and that's fine, because it is what it is, but that's what I figured out. But in terms of the rest of what I'm doing with Eccentric Entrepreneurs, I don't know what I'm doing yet. And the part of me that wants answers now, I don't have answers for it. Instead, I have lots of questions. Well, what do I want to do with Eccentric Entrepreneurs? Who do I want to serve? How do I want to go forward? Do I even want to do this business? I know the answer to that question too. Yes, I do want to do this business. I mean, I've always enjoyed coaching clients and working with them, so that's a definite answer. Now, in one sense, it's very easy to, as hard as this step is for me, because part of me wants to solve the problem, it's easier for me to do this step than for business owners that are in different places with their business. And the reason why is because when you failed, you've had your identity stripped away. You're forced to face yourself. You're forced to see your weaknesses and take responsibility for your issues. And you have to be present with where you're at. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing else to it. It's just like, this is where I'm at. This is what I have to do. But when you're in a place where you're okay with your business, where things seem to be working out pretty well, yeah, you're having to put some fires out, but you're starting to put some systems into place or things like that. It can feel like, oh, if I take this time, I'm taking it away from my business. No, and if anything but, when you take time for yourself to reflect and take pause and really look at yourself and your business and where you're at, you are actually taking care of you, and as a result, you're taking care of your business. And it's important to remember that. So for example, if I say to you, take a moment and look at your business, and you've been somewhat successful. Some questions you might ask yourself are, am I enjoying what I'm doing? What are the problems that I'm encountering in my business? What are my roles in those problems, if anything? What resistance am I feeling to this business? Questions like that allow you to dig in deep and uncover things that may be getting in the way of you being more successful with your business, or may indicate that you need to change a direction or do other things. And when you're in a place where you're wildly successful, where everything seems to be going great, you're having tons of money coming in every month, and people love your stuff, I'll be honest with you, that's when it's really important to take this step. I mean, I've seen business owners who haven't done this and they're living life at 60 miles per hour, and they're getting ready to hit a brick wall, and they don't even see it. And you'd say, well, why is that the case? And here's the thing, when you become successful, that brings its own challenges to your identity. There may be when you pause and reflect, you may discover that there's part of yourself that's saying, I'm not worthy of this success, or I can only handle success up to this level, and if I go any further, I'm going to have to find a way to sabotage the business. Or, any number of other things. I mean, I think that when you're in a place of wild success, that's when this step is really important, because it allows you to just take stock. It allows you to also take a moment and really appreciate your hard work, the hard work of your team, and of course, the work of your customers. Because your business isn't where it's at if you don't have customers, and that's just a simple reality. Regardless of where you're at in your journey as a business owner, it's really important that you give yourself that moment to reflect and take pause in your business. And I want to say that this is a bit different from business planning. I mean, I've offered business planning before for business owners, and it is its own opportunity to pause and take reflection. But there's a difference there, because the business plan, you're still doing something. With this, you're really just stopping and holding space and asking some questions and giving yourself the space and time you need to be reflective and to really consider, well, where am I going and what does this mean? How do I want to go and proceed from here? And again, I don't think business owners do this enough. I see people who just kind of get caught up in the moment, and they're really caught up in trying to, get to that next place, wherever that next place is or ought to be according to whoever. And as a result, they end up missing out on some crucial details that they would have discovered if they had just taken the time and allowed themselves to reflect and take pause in their business. So my homework for you, if you're watching this video, is actually give yourself some time off from your business as much as you can. I mean, the reality of business is, things, especially when you have clients and all that, you need to take care of your clients and stuff. But if there's a way for you to just stop and take a few days off, do it. And do it from a perspective of, I can give yourself permission to say, I don't need to do things for my business right now. I can just give myself some time off and really ask some good hard questions. In my particular case, I'm going to be asking these questions for a while. There's no easy answers, and I'm just going to have to let it percolate. My wife said that to me the other day. She said, you just need to let this percolate. You've had all these experiences. Your identity's been turned upside down. You're working at a job now. You just need to give yourself some time to percolate and learn what you need to learn and be where you need to be. And you will find some answers. You will figure out where you need to go forward. And that's true. When you're a place where you failed with your business, you need to give yourself time to be present with the emotions and the change in identity, and to just reflect and let yourself be. You'll get there. Trust me. I'm in that very process right now, and slowly but surely I'm getting there. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and remember to give yourself that moment to breathe deep and be. Take care.